For Air, the feeling of truly losing someone hit her the most when the other woman was sitting within reach, yet the distance between them felt insurmountable. They were within each other's line of sight, but there was no connection, no flowing conversation, no exchanged smiles, no gentle gaze left. Everything reconfirmed, too. Her the certainty that she would never get that version of Pure back. Everything had changed, leaving no trace of what once was. Even the joy Air had hoped to see on Pure's face upon arriving here was absent. The gorgeous woman now seemed lost and lifeless, more so than when Air had been trapped in the role of someone else's wife. That much was clear. She was no longer a crucial factor for Pure's happiness. As painful as the truth was, Air couldn't help but wonder who the new person in the other's life was. What kind of person had the ability to seep into the heart of someone so steadfast and unwavering like Pure? What kind of person could make the girl who had waited for her for so long feel not as content with the news of her liberation from past restraints as Air had expected? What kind of person had the courage to gather the shattered pieces of the girl's heart and piece them back together and almost become the owner of that heart? 1 year might not seem long to some, but when you're the one waiting, 1 year could feel excruciatingly endless. And for them, it was a year that Air had someone by her side, which made everything exponentially harder. Pure had stood firm in her position, enduring the role of a former lover she had to reluctantly accept. That role had left countless wounds that were difficult to heal, and if one day someone came along to care for and heal those wounds, Air knew she had no right to demand anything anymore. Even if the pain was unbearable, she had always thought that if Pure simply asked her to leave, she would willingly step away to spare the younger woman any discomfort. How are you feeling right now? Tell me all of them. What are you carrying inside? Though she had some idea, Air wanted Pure, who was drowning in gloom, to voice her feelings. Asking this was her way of opening up a conversation, one that could lead to addressing the tangled mess of their relationship. Pure was in such a bad state that Air couldn't bear to see the younger woman like this anymore. If there was any way to ease her beloved's suffering, Air was ready to do it. Immediately. Conflicted, confused, guilty, Pure admitted. She had always relied on Air as her confidant, sharing every problem and worry with the older woman. And now, even though Air was part of the turmoil in her heart, Pure still chose to speak openly. That happens when you realize you have to choose one of us, right? Why does it have to be me who chooses? If she could switch roles and be the one waiting to be chosen, would it be easier than this? Pure wasn't sure, but one thing she could say for certain was that she felt so tormented, she wanted to cry all the time. Because you're the one both of us love, we can't live as three, right? Or should we? The gorgeous older woman asked, her tone serious at first, before raising an eyebrow and adding a teasing remark. She giggled lightly, as if she weren't treading on the fragile emotions of the moment, but Pure knew her well enough to see that Air wasn't taking this as well as she pretended to be. That's crazy. Yes, it's crazy, and that's exactly why you have to choose. What criteria should I use? Can you tell me, Air? Pure was truly at a loss, unable to find a way out of the tangled mess of their relationships, so she pleaded to the older woman for guidance. I don't know either. I've never had to choose between you and someone else. Her choices had been constrained by external factors, but her heart had always held on to Pure. If she ever had the freedom to decide, the girl in front of her right now would undoubtedly be the one she chose. You've never had anyone else in your heart but me, Air. But there were things more important than the person in your heart. I'm sorry, I'm dealing with the consequences of that mistake now. Air was only an ordinary human. She was not born to make every decision correctly. Sometimes she thought she had chosen the best path, but many times, looking back, she regretted her choices. It had always been this way, and it would likely remain so. until the last day of her life. I don't want to keep wondering, what if you had chosen me? What if that day you hadn't married him? Would we still be like this now? I don't want to think about it either. What should I do? Pure asked. Air pitied herself and she pitied the girl too. Her dear girl's eyes were brimming with tears again, her lips pressed tightly together as she tried to hold back her emotions. Air had never seen Pure so utterly lost before. I've never said it out loud, but there hasn't been a single day I didn't love you, and I know that person must love you just as much. Yeah, they said they love me. And do you love them? I've loved you all along, P. Air. Are you trying to tell yourself that? Pure's attempt to avoid answering the question directly made Air narrow her eyes slightly. It was clear now. If Pure couldn't even say she didn't love the other woman, then her feelings for them were undeniable. Pure had already given her heart to the person in question. This is what it felt like to see the person you love, loving someone else. You already know what you're feeling for them, and let me tell you the reason. Things are the way they are is because I'm no longer the only person you love. Like how you weren't upset about your divorce. I wasn't at all, because I didn't love him. Do you understand better now? Why does it feel like you want me to choose someone else? You're imagining things. I'm saying this because I want you to be certain of your decision, not because I want you to choose someone else. If you feel that way, it's probably because deep down, you already think the person you want to choose isn't me, don't you think? Air's calm and steady voice had a way of soothing the tension, even in the midst of such a heavy conversation. Despite the weight of the topic, her former lover managed to keep the situation from spiraling into unbearable intensity. Is this really the right thing to do? You've done nothing wrong. I want to be loved. I want to be chosen. But more than anything, I want to see someone as wonderful as you, Pure, be happy. Airs love wasn't entirely selfless or pure. She had wanted to claim Pure as hers alone. But as she looked at the woman's beautiful face now devoid of smiles, she knew that forcing Pure to stay with her would only lead to more pain for both of them. It might have been easier if Pure's feelings for someone else were fleeting, but it would be devastating if what Pure felt for them was genuine love. I'm sorry for everything, P. Air, you know. She was sorry for her lack of stability. She was sorry that she hadn't been able to wait for Air to return. And she was sorry for playing with Loft's feelings, leaving the one sprite girl crying far too often. We were together for a long time, and we loved each other deeply. I love you more than anyone else in the world. You are my only happiness, but now my only happiness doesn't seem happy anymore. It's unbearable. I feel like I can't take it anymore. It hurts so much right here. Pure said, placing her petite hand over the place where her heart was beating steadily, as tears that were brimming finally spilled over. Air reached out to gently stroke her head to comfort the girl, her own tears falling as well. I saw a dental dam on the floor near the sofa. Have they been here? The discarded packaging near the large sofa was undeniable evidence that Pure was no longer hers, in body or heart. Air didn't mention it to make Pure feel more guilty, but rather to remind her, her ex-girlfriend, who was about to become just a sister, to be mindful of what she should do. P. Air. If what you feel for them goes beyond that intimacy, don't forget to tell them. Okay, Air's gentle tone was accompanied by a kind smile. Her words made Pure cry even harder. The girl's narrow shoulders started shaking with sobs. It was the second time Air had seen her cry like this, the first being when they ended their relationship a year ago. I'm sorry. Her trembling body that was bawling leaned into Air's embrace. Air willingly wrapped her arms around the younger girl in return, holding her tightly in return for the warm touches. Tears from the older woman fell onto Pure's shoulder, where she placed her chin, as the dark night outside the balcony enveloped them, matching the somber atmosphere of the moment. It's okay, don't cry. I'm sorry. Why are you back so soon? You told me you'd be gone for a week. The housekeeper asked hurriedly as she saw her mistress step out of the car. Before heading to Bangkok, Loft had mentioned she'd stay there for about a week. Yet, just 2 days later, Miss Loft was already standing in front of her. I missed Patya already. She didn't see any point in admitting the truth, that she had come back after her heart was shattered. Instead, she brushed it off with a playful response, as was her nature. I haven't finished cleaning yet. Your bedroom curtains are all down, Miss Loft. I'll sleep in another room tonight. It's no problem. What about food? Should I prepare pair lunch and dinner? No need. I'll eat out. Just keep doing what you were working on, Auntie. All right, let's head inside. It's too hot. The housekeeper, whom Loft respected as a family member, extended her arm around Miss Loft's waist and guided Loft toward the house, concerned that the girl might melt under the blazing heat of the sun. What would you like to drink? I'll prepare it for you. As they walked into the house, the person in charge of caring for Miss Loft asked her once again, meaning to prepare it before she heads back to her tasks. A cup of coffee, please. I haven't had any today. Sure, just a moment. Thank you. Loft settled into her usual workspace, a corner with a view of the swimming pool. As she sat there, images of a pretty woman sketching by the pool flashed through her mind. She had already said that Pure had left so much here. The memories they had created together were overwhelming, impossible to erase in such a short time. Loft thought about Pure every day and knew that moving forward, those thoughts would only bring more pain than ever. As she sat there, consumed by thoughts of the gorgeous older woman, Pure was likely happy elsewhere with someone else. Her former sister-in-law's ex must have now become her former sister-in-law's current girlfriend. Is the pretty Miss Loft not here with you? The housekeeper placed one of Loft's favorite ceramic mugs filled with black coffee in front of her, as she asked about the person whose initials were prominently on the mug. I don't think she's coming back. The promises Pure had made to return here must have been forgotten. No matter how much Pure valued keeping her word, the idea of coming back to this place, to see her felt impossible now. When Miss Pure was here, you were so happy, Miss Loft. Having a friend around does that. It keeps the loneliness away, Loft said, wanting to laugh at the thought. A big house like this, it must get lonely living alone. Thanks for the coffee. My pleasure. I'll get back to work. Let me know if you need anything. All right. Even if the house were filled with a dozen people, Loft didn't think she'd feel the happiness the housekeeper spoke of. It wasn't loneliness, just as she had lied. The joy she had once radiated was because of Pure, and only Pure could bring that out in her. But that happiness was gone now, as the gorgeous older woman was no longer in a position to stay by her side.